Hi everyone and welcome back to Simply Motor. While we've got your attention, if you wouldn't mind hitting that subscribe button, that'd be great. Now it's never going to be an easy task to replace one of the best selling cars in Britain, but that's exactly what Ford's had to do with the Focus. That being said, the last model was far from perfect and there were certainly areas where drastic improvement was required. So, in this episode of 3 Good 3 Bad, I'm going to see if this new car cuts the mustard and if it's heads and shoulders above its predecessor. Now it makes sense to start in the area where the previous car had the most room for improvement, the interior. And happily, Ford has addressed these shortcomings and this new car is fantastic in here. I've got loads of soft touch materials, particularly on the dashboard and the tops of the door cards. It's a much nicer feeling cabin. Most importantly, the cumbersome sat-nav screen and surrounders gone. Okay, so not everyone's a fan of these ones that are placed on top of the dashboard, but it has to be said that it looks a lot more crisp than the old model. Now another area that was crying out for improvement was the lack of a viable automatic option. Because, quite frankly, the power shift options to date have just not been that good and it's been hard to recommend them. But that's all different now though, because Ford has fitted an 8-speed automatic to this new Focus, and it's bloody brilliant. The changes are virtually seamless, it's a really smooth gearbox, making motorway cruising fantastic. You can, if you wish, take control with paddles behind the steering wheel, or you can just leave it in drive, sit back and relax. One of the biggest changes I've noticed on this new Ford Focus is the amount of tech you get. Well, I should say you can get because quite a bit of it is optional. Take, for example, the driver assistance pack. It's a couple of £100, but as part of it you get adaptive cruise control and lane centering assist. Now what this means is on the motorway, when you're in your lane, the car will keep a constant gap to the car in front, so it'll slow you down if it needs to, and it will keep you in your lane, providing your hands on the steering wheel. So in a sense, this car will drive itself on a motorway to a degree, and that really takes the stress out of a long drive. Now this first bad point will, on the face of it, sound like a good point. There's loads of rear legroom in this new Focus. However, the rear bench is a little bit low, so that when you sit down and put your feet on the floor, as you will, it doesn't really support the underside of your legs. Now I'm only 5'7" and I find this, so I would expect that someone who's taller than me, and there will be plenty of you, will find it even more unsupportive. It's just a really strange bit of design. Now this new Focus gets selectable drive modes. There are 3 to choose from: Normal, Eco and Sport. Now in a manual car, it works fantastically because in Sport mode, the steering gets heavier and more responsive, the throttle response is noticeably sharper, and that makes the car a lot more spirited to drive. The only downside is that with the automatic, the gearbox goes into a sport mode too. It becomes more reluctant to change up and it holds the revs higher. Now, that's all well and good when you're attacking a B road, but when you're going through a town in between, you don't want it to be revving its head off. And there's no option to select a custom drive mode like you would find in one of the Volkswagen or Seat alternatives, which is a shame. Now we said earlier that a lot of the tech on this car is optional, and that shows when you look at the spec sheet for this press car. The basic price of the 1.5 diesel ST Line X with the 8-speed auto is £27,000. Now if that wasn't enough, this press car has £5,000 worth of extras on it, taking the total to £32,000, which, I'm sorry, is just too much. Understandably, Ford is now competing on a level with Volkswagen and Audi in terms of interior quality and overall refinement. But the danger is that it's going to lose the affordability that made it appeal to the masses and made the Focus so successful. The only saving grace is that if you're a bit of a negotiator, you can get a good deal from Ford dealers, so you might have to employ that to get the most out of this car. So that just about sums up the new Ford Focus. It's a much more well-rounded offering, certainly more refined than its predecessor. Although, if to get your best value for money, you'll have to be cautious with the options list and perhaps do a bit of haggling with the dealer. To read our review of this car in full, visit our website at www.simplymotor.co.uk. We hope you've liked this video and you're welcome to leave us a comment below. If you haven't already, don't forget, hit that subscribe button. I've been Dan for Simply Motor and we'll see you next time.